Assalamualaikum and a very good day. I bid to my lecturers, Madam Nur Zaida, to my supervisors, Dr. Shuzrina, to my examiner, Madam Shamimi, and to all my friends or other people that have to watch this. So my name is Abdul Hafiz bin Abdul Hamid Alwi, and I will be presenting about my final proposal for this semester. And my title is Social Distancing Monitoring Using Computer Vision. So without further ado, we will jump to the chapter 1 for the introduction. So for the introduction, we have several subtopics. As we can see, is background study, problem statement, research question, objectives, research scope, and the significance of the research, and also summary. So I will shortly summarize what is in this each of these subtopic. So for 1.1 is background of study. So this is where we do readings and also a little bit of literature review to explain of the background of our study. So for me, it's about social distancing violation using monitoring using computer vision. So first of all, in the first paragraph, I explain about what is social distancing based on the information that I've gathered from articles and other past researchers, journal, and also from online sightings. So this is my first paragraph. That is the first paragraph is all about. And for the second one is because my title is computer vision. So here I explain about computer vision, and as we all know, computer vision has developed greatly and are able to provide astonishing accuracy and results even in a real-time program. Before this, we weren't able to do this effectively and efficiently, but uh, since in like 2010 to 2012 to 2020, there's a lot of algorithms and model technique that are developed, and one of it for the real time tracking is and detecting is the you only look once, the YOLO algorithms. YOLO algorithms is actually a very uh, good innovation which enables many things can be done with computer vision right now. So I've also explained that in this COVID-19, there are a lot of uh, new technologies that are being used. For example, in the United States, the TSA, Transportation Security Administration, now they can detect the symptoms of COVID-19, such as fevers and abnormal respiratory patterns, with high precision and in real time. And to do this, they use computer vision. And also in China, we also have a new technology based on computer vision and infrared technology for the temperature measurement. So for my problem statement, there are three problem statements. The first problem statement: people are violating social distancing without being realized by authorities in crowded places. So this is one of the first problems, and this is what causes those disease to spread more. So for example, in the citations, our Prime Minister Muhyiddin Yassin said that SOPs that were set by the election commission, like social distancing, weren't observed during campaigning. He said when he was campaigning in Sabah, he noticed people were sitting side by side in a cramped space, even though they wore face masks. So even though they wore face masks, but if social distancing measure is not practiced, the disease will still spread because the disease can transmit through touch, as we all know. And secondly, the problem is to flatten the COVID-19 curve. There is a need to practice social distancing by the government in order to flatten the COVID-19 curve. So flattening the curve is something that every country is globally right now is trying to do, and so do us, Malaysia. So why is flattening the curve important? Because either way, we cannot stop the COVID-19 from disease from happening directly. So there have to be some process, and the disease will still transmit. So what we want to do is we want to flatten the curve. So we don't want a sudden uprising, like a hill in the graph that suddenly, in short, it is when the supply of bed cannot meet the demands of the patients. So when this happens in the hospital sector, a lot of people that have COVID-19 will not be able to get treatment. Where if they get the normal treatment, they might be able to recover easily, but because of there are too many COVID-19 disease patients, so hospital cannot support the demand. So to avoid that, we have to tighten the COVID-19 curve. Thirdly, there is a need to practice social distancing, especially in premise and shops. Research question, this is some of my research questions, and I think one of the most important one is this number two. What are the techniques used to detect social distancing violations? Because right now there are so many techniques in computer vision, and we have to identify the best one. So for the research objective, define suitable algorithms for object tracking, and second, design and develop a social distancing monitoring using the identified object tracking algorithm. So the first and second objective are actually related, and to achieve the second one, you have to achieve the first one first. So our research scope is computer vision and data visualization. Visualization. Research significance is this, and one of the most important thing I think is the proper system supports the reduction of the coronavirus spread and its economic cost by providing an AI-based solution to automatically monitor and detect violations of social distancing among individuals. So for the chapter 2 is our literature review. The first one is coronavirus and COVID-19. Here I explain about uh, the history of coronavirus and COVID-19 based on many citations. Second one is social distancing. So this is where I look for information of how, what, and why we need social distancing and how does it affect us. This is all the things that are discussed in 2.2. In 2.3 is computer vision. We explain about the origins of computer vision and what are the current machine learning and deep learning techniques that are being used in it. So 2.3.1 is object detection. This is where we explain about object detection. And object detection is a very important phase also, because without object detection we cannot do object tracking. So first of all, we need to do object detection first, and then we can further process it into object tracking. So this is where I look for information about object tracking, and the most interesting one are the deep sort algorithms, because there is a research paper that has been published about social distancing monitoring using computer vision also. But how am I different from that researchers is that I am using a more developed algorithm, which is YOLO version 4, because at that time YOLO version 4 wasn't available. And also I will compare the object tracking algorithm first before deciding which one is the best. So 2.3.3 is interdisciplinary measurement. For this one, we have to do a lot more readings because it is a very complicated topics, because there is a lot of mathematical calculation to do the interdistance measurement for the best accuracy, and this is something that we need to practically do first. But I have done the research on this also based on my reading, and this is some of the information that I can get from past researches. For the datasets, is also one of my concerns in this literature review. So I read about MS COCO, which is Common Object Context from Microsoft. And this is the abstract of the MS COCO, I suppose. And for the Pascal VOC, this is the information of the Pascal VOC. Pascal VOC is also a very famous um, dataset used for pedestrian. So that is why I took this. And for 2.5 is algorithms. 2.5.1 is YOLO V4. So this is the explanation about the current most advanced real-time object detection algorithms available, which is YOLO V4. And this is the comparison graph. And as we can see, actually if we can zoom it a little bit, YOLO V4, it performs much better than YOLO V3 by, I think this is a large margin also. So the YOLO V3 is lower than YOLO V4. And 2.5.2 is our deep sort algorithms, object tracking. 2.5.3 is joint detection and embedding, which is also an algorithm for object tracking. And this is also an algorithm for object tracking. And this is actually the rank number 1 in the according to this papers with code. And it is the global rank 1. So I'm really interested to compare this with deep sort algorithm, because currently most people do deep sort algorithm for tracking, object tracking. So for the research methodology, so this is the first objective, to identify the suitable algorithms for object tracking. So we have preliminary studies where we identify problems regarding object detection for pedestrians, because there are some problems such as partial occlusions in case of pedestrians. And also this is when we discuss with my supervisor, Dr. Shus, about what to do and what is my objective that I have to do, and my research title, problem statement, basically all of the chapter 1 and chapter 2 we discuss, and including chapter 3. And for the knowledge acquisition is where we read about the literatures online. And data collection is when we collect the datasets from MS COCO and Pascal VOC to 2012. This process is when we data pre-process, and there's also data evaluation when we compare and evaluate the best performance and choose the best datasets for this program later on when it finally goes live. And number 2 is the system architecture design. The flowchart, we have design and system development and system evaluation and testing. So I will quickly jump to the flowchart of this system because of time constraint. And this is the system architecture design. So first of all, we get into camera frame and detect pedestrian in the frame, which is this is object detection. Localize and track pedestrian in the frame, object tracking, and then project pedestrian location on bird's eye view. Bird's eye view is one of the inverse mapping technique, and this is about the interdistance measurement technique, one of the interdistance measurement requirements also, and it is one of the techniques also. So yeah, that is bird's eye view. And then find the interdistance between pedestrian. This is to detect the social distancing parameters. And then the last one, calculate and display social distancing parameters. So this means that if social distancing occurs, we will give like a red bounding box, and if no social distancing occur, we will use green bounding box. And if we see that there is like a warning that is likely to happen, we might use yellow colors for that as a warning, but it is still we are still reviewing it for late and see how we'll redo it in the later stage. So that is all, and thank you very much for listening. I bid everyone a very good day, have a nice day, and thank you very much.